Aren't you all just paralyzed with excitement? I mean, I couldn't sleep last night. I mean, first of all, before we talk about Myra Breckinridge, I want to make a personal thank you, Raquel, to you from me. When I was a desperate little preteen, I was sort of confronting the idea of sexuality and feeling very confused and lost. And there was a special on TV, and I think you were riding a motorbike in a bikini, you know, just a simple girl with a dream.
No, that was Anne Margaret.
And then, no, it was definitely you, and because you did this very special thing that made a big impression on me, you suddenly bit the air like that. And in an instant, I understood sexuality.
Wow.
I understood sexuality.
Hallucinations are so great, aren't they?
It's definitely you.
No, I know, no, never. I wouldn't know. But you know what? I'm so glad that you remember me that.
Yes, it was very therapeutic.
Therapeutic. Motorcycle.
Oh, well, maybe it was a Cadillac, convertible.
No, I think it was Annie.
Really?
Yes.
How?
Anne Margaret was always on a motorcycle.
God, I'm such an idiot. Imagine if I did.
Beverly Hills on her motorcycle all the time.
Well, anyway, having screwed up my introduction,
I'm sorry, I'm not doing right.
Let's talk about Myra Breckinridge.
All right.
An incredible movie. Now let's put it in context. When did you get the call?
Well, actually, I didn't get the call. I had heard about the movie. I read the book. I thought the book was absolutely hysterical. I mean, it was so funny, and I thought it was very innovative because of the fact that it was the first time I had seen somebody like Gore Vidal, who's really, really a genius, really, and deal with the duality in the nature of both male and female. I never saw that before. And it was hysterically funny, so I was interested in how they were going to do this movie. And then I heard through the trades that Annie Bancroft had turned it down. So I thought, I wonder what they're going for. And Little Bird told me I should call Dick Zanuck. So I called Dick Zanuck, who I was under contract to Fox, and I said, look, I don't know exactly what kind of actress you're looking for in this role, but I was thinking if a guy was going to change his sex and wanted to be like a movie star type of girl, don't you think he might want to look like me? And he said, oh my gosh, that's a thought. Let me talk to David. That was David Brown. And then I'm sure Helen Gurley Brown got in on it too. And then I did get the call. And they asked me to come in and talk to them about it. And they gave me the role. I had not seen a script. It's true. You know, the thing is, as much as I loved doing Myra, I was kind of disappointed in the outcome of the movie because the narrative really never did string together. You know, it became very, disjointed. And they didn't, it didn't really tell the story of Myron, the film critic, who was enamored with all the famous, very, very strong, swashbuckling women of the golden age of film. And we can name them, from Joan Crawford to Betty Davis to, I don't know, Myrna Loy and, well, all of them. We could go on and on. But he wanted really to be one of those superwomen. And I think that's where the whole superwoman thing started, because it was women then that used to go to the movies. The movies, they used to bring the guys to the movies. That was more the way it went than how it goes now. So, but, I felt like that thing, and then this critic changes himself into a woman. He does a transgender surgery, and then you wanted to hear the dialogue that was both male and female. And I felt like, well, now I'm sort of playing the girl's part. Rex Reed is playing Myron, And there's really hardly any real relationship between the two. They're not one person. So the idea of the duality in the nature, one minute she likes girls, the next minute she likes young studs, and the older men are just, you know, to use and abuse, of course. But
tell us a bit about how you. I was watching it this morning, and it's so impressive the way. Yes, refreshing myself, and your characterization, the way you play it, I think it's very sophisticated. It's this breezy sort of sexy gym teacher, very brusque thing. How conscious was that? How did you evolve your depiction?
You know, I just, you know, the real thing was, I know this is going to sound very shallow of me, but Theodora Van Runkel did these beautiful period costumes, which really did emulate all of the great film stars of the Golden Age.
Theodora Van Runkel, who also did Bonnie and Clyde. She did so many incredible movies.
Bonnie and Clyde. She did other movies with Faye, and but she was really a genius, I have to say. She was so wonderful, and so I felt like these clothes kind of evoked the attitude. And then, of course, all of Myra's speeches and everything she said really came from Parker Tyler, right? Yes. The Parker Tyler is the great film historian, and all of his things are very erudite and very literate, and he carries on and on and on, and it's very amusing too. But that's really what she, you know, spouted off all the time with Buck Loner and the rest of them.
So now let's talk Mae West. Dish. Just dish on Mae.
Oh, well, let's see. I don't know which story to tell. You know, all of them? Do we have time for that, Josh? Anyhow, I think we should have time. Look at all these lovely people. So, anyhow, well, I did want to meet Mae because when I heard that she was going to play Letitia Van Voren, you know, I thought, oh, how fun. And I had seen her at UCLA and doing her fabulous show, and I knew all about her, you know, reinventing or saving Paramount Studios. But then I did go out and research her and find out all about her, and it turned out that she had never made a color movie before, and this was definitely going to be Technicolor, or whatever they called it in 1969. And also, you know, she really she did her first film for Paramount when she was 40 years old. So I figured out she had to be getting up there. I think she was 77 when she did the movie. And I thought, wow, that's pretty courageous, but I would love to meet her before it's just Mae and I on the set. So I asked Stanley Musgrove for an audience with her nibs. And I went to Ravenswood, which was the Hollywood beautiful, big, tall, you know, sort of vintage building that she owned. And I went up to the penthouse suite and waited for Mae. And as I was waiting, I noticed that all the furniture was white, of course, but I couldn't see very well because I also noticed that there were only 25-watt pale pink bulbs. And I thought, you know, poor Mae, you know, I hope when I get this age, and of course now I'm over 70, so it's really not funny, but I'm about ready to carry around my 25-watt bulbs too. But, you know, so, you know, I realized I really was very honored to be meeting her, because she really is, I mean, she really is a legend. I mean, they sort of shoot that word around, you know, icon, legend, this and that, but she really was. And she invented cam, didn't she? I think, well, for the public anyway. She brought it out of the closet. So anyway, so then finally Mae did come in, and I thought, oh, I wonder what she's really going to be like in real life, because everybody I'd ever met in the movies before was, well, they had their persona on camera, but then there was the other real side to them. And Mae didn't have a real side. Now, I don't mean to be unkind, but really, I mean, you know, she came out and she had a long peignoir on, and she had a very, very blonde wig on, lots of eyelashes. This was noon, and she went. Oh. You're a pretty young thing. What did you say your name was? So it was kind of like that, you know? And
Did she have pet chimps and all kinds of a menagerie there?
she didn't bring the chimps out, no.
Good.
And there were no other men there either, no muscle guys or anything. They had those at SC when I saw her act in SC, you know, the University of Southern California. Then she had lots of muscle guys and things. But this was May, and I thought, oh, so she's really going to be like that all the time, 24/7. So, but it was, you know, then the other thing that got to me a little bit is May never worked before 5 p.m.
It must have taken a long time to achieve.
Must take a long time. I can relate. I can definitely relate. But she also never really moved by herself. The limousine that brought her to the studio and to her dressing room also brought her onto the set. So the big, huge doors that, you know, they bring the scenery in. Well, she was kind of a piece of scenery, really. But, this, you know, huge car would wheel in, and then she would get out of it, and she would come and sit in her chair. And by that time, I also noticed that she wore shoes. You know, well, I've got the shoes on today too, but she wore the high shoes and then the platform on top of that, and the long dress, so you really couldn't see what her real height was. At one
Probably
point,
the same as mine. Like Pixie, my height.
Maybe so. But when I went over to say hello to her,
I'm just identifying,
do you wear those kind of shoes too?
Actually, yes.
But anyway, when I went over to say hello to her again and say, hi, you know, it's Raquel, remember? She sort of extended her hand to me, and I went to kiss the ring. And with that, one false fingernail, painted silver, fell to the floor. And I looked at the hand, and I thought, oh, I'm getting a vibe. I think she's a man. I swear to you. And then I looked at the face, and there was something about, well, you know, when you get older, yeah, you can get a little different looking. And I don't mean to.
You don't mean it in a mean way.
I don't mean it.
There's nothing wrong with being a man, is there? I mean,
no, nothing at all.
I mean, that is one of the persistent rumors about me. I think, right?
That you're a man?
Yes.
And about me too.
Well, as I was watching it again this morning, I noticed that she's vaguely incomprehensible, and a lot of it's like, like that. You can't pick up a lot of the dialogue, and I thought maybe May didn't do retakes. So I wanted to ask you about that. Was she amenable to retakes?
I don't know, because she refused to ever appear in the same frame of film with me. There were no two shots. There were absolutely no two shots.
I did read a quote online.
So I don't know what she did while she was, because then she left after she did her things, and I had an off-camera, you know, person read me my lines, and then I would pretend that she was there. But you know, she needed her rest.
You're so very